And you can see that the roads certainly looking wet out there, so do factor that into your morning drive as well. It's great to have you here with us. 6:37 a.m. You're watching the Weather Network. I'm Rachel Schoutsen. Emily is camping this morning in Burlington. We're going to be checking in with her in a second, learning how to build a fire, pitch a tent, all the goods. She's got it this morning. Wet start to the day today, clear and sunny right through the weekend. We really have one of the best weekends in store coming up, and then temperature swings into the long weekend. Civic Day long weekend, not too far away. We already have our eyes on where the temperatures are going, and we're going to fill you in on that coming up throughout the show. So some showers this morning, but slowly thinning out and clearing out throughout the day. And Emily, I know you're in a bit of a dry stretch right now in Burlington, and what's the latest around the campfire?
Well, Rachel, I am hanging out with Scouts Canada today. It has been so much fun already, and the morning's just getting started.
Emily, awesome stuff. Looking at that campfire this morning, all I'm thinking about is s'mores, and it's honestly scary how many s'mores I can eat. Last time I went camping, I didn't even bring any marshmallows. Can't control myself around them. As we look at this afternoon, we're 27 degrees in Toronto. Still the risk of a thunderstorm, not for Toronto, but Niagara region, Hamilton, and then the North Shore of Erie. When we come back, force of nature and this explosion in Peru. Well, it's good to see you on this gray start to the day, Thursday morning, July the 27th. And before we get into your forecast, want to traffic quickly, if I can talk. Here's a look at the 401. All right, check this out. We are looking at the showers thinning out throughout the morning this morning. However, the risk of a thunderstorm will still linger Niagara region and North Shore of Erie. It's a bit of a wet start to the day, depending on where you are. East of the GTA, some heavier rainfall. Burlington, for example, starting to thin out. Oakville, Hamilton, same kind of scenario. We're 19 degrees right now in Toronto. And when we look at some of these showers, this is a live look at the radar. You can see how things have really thinned out. But watch this. See another cluster over towards Mount Forest. We're going to watch as that slowly lowers itself down into the GTA. Emily, as I'm looking at this radar, I think Burlington may be spared, but we're going to have to keep our eyes on this one. You're down around the campfire this morning teaching us how to camp, and you know, I'm learning a lot from these guys. These are the experts, aren't they?
Doesn't get any better than Scouts Canada.
Oh, that's awesome. Camp songs by the campfire. And you know what? If it's raining, you can still go camping. A gray sky like that. Look how much fun they're having out there. Awesome stuff, Emily. This afternoon, 27 degrees. Risk of a thunderstorm will linger Niagara region over towards Hamilton. And that's with the lake breeze off of Lake Erie. As for the GTA, we should be staying stable. So I'm not thinking Toronto getting into thunderstorms for the afternoon, which of course is perfect because the Blue Jays got that afternoon game today. If you are headed down to this, there is a slight risk that we could see a shower, but I don't think we should be seeing anything too dramatic. Very comfortable conditions for that. And the radar showing you that this just continues to clear throughout the day today. When we come back, your Long Ranger, and we're talking about the long weekend, the Civic long weekend, and where we see temperatures going. It's great to have you here with us on this Thursday morning. A bit of a gray start to the day today. The rain is slowly thinning out, but I'm looking at another round of it, just a little small patch of it moving back in throughout the 9 o'clock hour this morning. So if you're just about to head out, grab that umbrella. It is a wet start to the day today, but we are looking nice as we go into this afternoon. Clear and sunny right through the weekend. We really have one of the best weekend forecasts we've seen yet this summer coming into the picture. If you've been thinking, you know, it's about time I got up to Wasaga Beach, or maybe I need to walk along our beautiful waterfront here in Toronto, this is the weekend to do it. Temperature swings into the long weekend as well. That's something we're going to chat about throughout the show. As we look at Toronto at the moment, we are 20 degrees. I want to show you the radar, and I want to show you where some of the showers are. You can see they're really thinning out across the GTA, but this right here, this is what we're watching as that starts to slowly push back in. And again, we're thinking 9 o'clock hour for that one. All right, want to turn things over to Emily Vukovic this morning. Emily, around the campfire, building the tent, the campsite this morning. You are with the experts when it comes to camping.
Scouts Canada, Camping 101. It's like all about summer, adventures, learning how to pitch tent.
You know, I think that would be a very interesting experiment, Emily. Thanks for that this morning. And you know, tarps, so essential when you're camping. Camping in the rain. We're actually going to talk about that in our next segment coming up after your local forecast and how you can make the best of it. But first up, let's take a look at this. Thunderstorm risk today. Okay, so for us here in the GTA, City of Toronto, once we get into the afternoon, we should be fairly stable. But North Shore of Erie, especially over towards the Niagara region, looks like with a lake breeze, we could ignite some thunderstorms here. So that's one thing to watch into this afternoon. Temperature-wise, it's going to feel a little humid, especially for Toronto. 27 feels more like 34. Barrie's a bit fresher at 23. And again, Toronto up towards Barrie through Cottage Country will be staying stable. So if you're starting the weekend early, maybe you're heading to Cottage Country today, forecast looks really good for you. Really, really good for you. You're going to be doing a lot of swimming. Friday morning, we're 18 degrees in Toronto, and then as we go into the afternoon, 24. Before we go here, a couple shots out on the roads. This here is a live look at the Gardiner. It's great to see you this morning, 7:17 on this Thursday. We are talking showers across the GTA. Risk of a thunderstorm within southern Ontario this afternoon. We'll pinpoint where we should see it and who will be staying stable. That is coming up. But right now, I want to show you the situation in British Columbia. The city has burned over 130,000 hectares of land. These wildfires are so big that yesterday, with the right airflow, this tracked across the border and into Alberta. And this is what the skies were looking like over top of Calgary yesterday. This was actually trending on Twitter. And you can just see the dramatic scenes. The wildfire still a huge story and something that is likely to burn right into the winter. As we bring you back here at home across Ontario, we are up for another wet start to the day today. Really the opposite problem here. It is just way too wet with all the rainfall we've seen, especially in places like Kingston and Ottawa. 20 degrees right now in Toronto. As we look at the radar, the rain is slowly thinning out, but we are watching this. See this next little blob that's moving in? This is likely to bring some showers throughout the 9 o'clock hour. So our eyes are on that one, and then we should be clearing throughout the afternoon. All right, Emily, turning things over to you now. Looks like a pretty cozy morning in that tent. Good to see ya.
And it's not even a tent, Rachel. We are sitting in like an A-frame shelter that Tomiko has graciously put up for us. He's still working hard on it. In fact, I can hear him banging away at the pegs that he has literally built to put in the ground.
Looks good out there, Emily. This afternoon, 27 degrees. We will feel humid. Toronto will be staying stable, but the risk of thunderstorms along the north shore of Erie. We'll show you a force of nature, and then we'll check in with Nicole next. Audio issues.
I'm sure she's saying something fantastically interesting. Emily Vukovic, she's been camping this morning, learning a lot about that. We'll check in with her again. The weather's held off in terms of the rain. It's just been cloudy where she is west of Toronto, but the Toronto area still seeing some lingering showers for your commute. Yeah. A front coming in, and in Kingston due east has a chance of thunderstorms, as well as Hamilton towards Windsor. But we're not seeing that threat around Cobourg and Toronto. We've got a bit more stability in the atmosphere there. So by the afternoon, those regions actually look sunny and dry. Meanwhile, the humidity is starting to build back in this afternoon. Look at this. It's going to feel like summer again in Toronto, like 34 with the humidity. Ottawa feeling like 32, up towards Kapuskasing feeling like 25.
That is a good day if you are a summer lover. There, you will be looking at a wet day for your explorations.
But you know what? Friday and Saturday look gorgeous across
really good.
Montreal up towards Quebec City. So enjoy the weekend forecast. Now we have our temperatures also building in with the humidity here for Quebec. Montreal feeling like 31 this afternoon. And the thunderstorm threat extends into New Brunswick as well. It looks like it's going to hit northern sections of New Brunswick, not quite Fredericton or down to St. John or...
Nate, thanks for that. And you know what? I just wanted to mention, within the GTA this weekend, there is the big Canadian Open happening in Oakville. So that is thousands and thousands of people outside, of course, celebrating golf. And we have a great forecast for that. You don't want a thunderstorm risk on the golf course, so looking good for you.
If you've planned an event this weekend in southern Ontario, southern Quebec, you are good. Weddings, everything. Can't say the same thing for places like Halifax.
It's great to have you here with us this morning on this Thursday. Bit of a gray start to the day today. The rain thinning out across the GTA, but another round of it coming back in. And I'll show you that on the radar in just a second. I've got some good news to go along with these showers, though. Clear and sunny right through the weekend. This really is going to be one of the best weekends we've seen yet this summer. You know, it's been 6 weeks of me saying potentially a thunderstorm this weekend, spotty showers, system coming in. Not this weekend. We're looking at 2 dry days and then, of course, the long weekend and some temperature swings. We're going to get into that coming up. As we take a look at our radar this morning, we are going to be seeing this thinning out. So that's what's been happening here. As we show you the icons as we go into the afternoon, we're 27 degrees in Toronto, 23 in Timmins. We're a cooler up to the north, and that's because that warm front has already passed by. So we're going to be feeling that fresher air as we get into tomorrow. But for today, still a little sticky. All right, Emily, looks like we're joining you just in time for breakfast this morning. What is on the menu? That looks good out there.
Summer Adventure 101 with Scouts Canada.
Okay, looks like the connection may be a little weak there, but that looks delicious. There's more that you can do than just s'mores, right? When I went camping a couple weeks ago, we actually wanted to make campfire cones. I've been seeing these online. You stuff ice cream cones with marshmallows and cookies and chocolate bars, and you wrap them up in tinfoil, you'll put them in the fire. We actually didn't get to making the cones because we left the ingredients out at night. Raccoons ate the entire bag of our stuff, but I'm sure that would have been a great idea. As we look here at the thunderstorm risk today, north shore of Erie, we are looking at the potential for storms with a bit of the lake breeze. Toronto stays stable, and then we are looking at that storm risk well off to the east of us. This here is the future radar. You can see the showers are with us this morning. That's this morning right here. And then into the afternoon, we have all cleared out. We're going to watch the Niagara region, though, because this is where we could be seeing some pop-up storms. Overnight, we're down to 18, and then we got a great forecast for you tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon. The weekend just looks amazing. You can see that in your local forecast. And then just after the local, we're taking you to Force of Nature with this explosion in Peru. It's great to have you here with us this morning. Right now, it is Thursday, July the 27th. We're looking at some breaks in the rain. I'm saying after about 11 a.m., we should be in the clear. And we're looking at more of a stable air mass as we go into the afternoon. But we'll show you who is still at a thunderstorm risk this afternoon and also the weekend. Big events happening this weekend. Glen Abbey, the Canadian Open happening in Oakville, and also Toronto's Beer Fest. That's a sold-out event. Lots of people on the outdoors. So we got that forecast coming up. But before we jump into the rain this morning, I want to show you the situation out in BC. Here's where they need some rainfall. Look at this here. Over 130,000 hectares have been scorched with that wildfire alone. And as we look at the flow of the wind in the upper levels of the atmosphere yesterday, it was able to drag some of that smoke and send it all the way out into Alberta. These were the scenes, these were the skies over Calgary yesterday. Isn't that incredible? As we bring you back here at home, we've really had the opposite problem in terms of being too dry. We've been way too wet. Water levels, Lake Ontario, still high. The rainfall out towards Ottawa and Kingston, it has been dramatic and really way too much when we talk end of spring and beginning of summer. Couple showers for us this morning. Like I said, after 11 a.m., I'm thinking all of this should be clearing out of here for Toronto, and we're actually going to see some sunshine as we go into the afternoon. Another thing you're going to feel this afternoon, that's the humidity. Hot and a little sticky. This afternoon, we're 27 degrees in Toronto, 23 in Barrie. You can see Barrie a little bit cooler, and that's with that cold front working its way through, and we will be into that cooler air mass by the time we look at Friday. A little bit below seasonal. Now notice these icons here. Niagara Falls and Hamilton, showing you the risk of a thunderstorm. That's because of the lake breeze. The lake breeze off of Erie, that does pose the risk here. So the GTA up towards Barrie, this area staying stable. I'm not thinking thunderstorms for the afternoon, but with a bit of the breeze off Lake Erie, it adds that extra lift in the atmosphere. That's what we need to really get that rise in the atmosphere, and that's where we could be seeing a pop-up thunderstorm. So Niagara region, Hamilton over towards Brantford, and that risk extends down to Windsor. So this is some good news if you are planning on attending the Blue Jays afternoon game. Always a treat when they have an afternoon game in the summer. Lots of kids, of course, being off school. You can attend. Maybe you're off work this week. You picked a pretty good week to be off work. 24 degrees, slight risk of a shower, but again, we should be staying mainly dry. The future radar showing us that this just continuously clears out of here. You can follow that timestamp and look at us right into tonight. We are not seeing anything in the way of moisture once we're done with this morning. So as we get you into tomorrow, what's going on for tomorrow? Okay, so Friday afternoon, 22 degrees in Barrie, 24 in Toronto. So see how we've gotten a little bit cooler. Today we're feeling more of that heat and the humidity. Tomorrow a bit fresher in behind that front. Tomorrow morning we could be talking maybe a couple showers. We are looking at this system down towards Windsor. See the icon here, how it's showing you the thunderstorm, but it's staying well to the south of us. So high confidence that the GTA should be staying dry. Staying dry for the weekend too. Your long ranger is coming up, and we're going to take a real long range look.
Well, we'll tell you what Halifax looks like today, at least. Nicole Karkic and Rachel Schoutsen with you here. We'll just notice increasing cloud cover for the city of Halifax with isolated showers by tonight.
Yeah, winds will be strong with this today. We could see wind gusts easily over about 40 kilometers an hour. So we're going to watch for that thunderstorm development, all associated with this cold front that's working throughout Ontario, Quebec, and eventually today in through northern New Brunswick.
But by Friday, clear conditions. We've got a sunny weekend in store for southern Quebec, including Montreal. So, you know what? You can plan your weekend now. This afternoon, 25 degrees in Toronto with the humidity starting to build in. Next, we go to Ontario, where thankfully it's not raining for Emily Vukovic, who's been learning all about camping. So quickly, anywhere marked in yellow today, that's where we see the risk of thunderstorms this afternoon. So keep your eye on the sky.
On Storm. If you're on Twitter, if you want to send us some photos and videos, we would love to include them on our morning show. It's great to have you here with us, and I'm glad you've tuned in because we're talking about today, the wet start to the day today, clearing out through Friday, and then an absolutely glorious weekend. Clear and sunny right through the weekend. Do you have some plans this weekend? Canadian Open. We got Rib Fest happening out in Ajax. There's a Blueberry Pancake Festival happening up in Barrie. Welland has a wine festival. We've got a lot going on this weekend, and certainly a lot of sunshine too. We're about 20 degrees this morning. We are warming up to about 27 as we go into the afternoon, and the humidity really starts to build with that as well. As we look at the radar here, we are clearing this rain out of the way, and by the time we're into the afternoon, the forecast really is looking great. This is the future radar, and you can see not much going on afternoon and into tonight. There's one little blip in the forecast for today, something we're going to watch. Toronto stays stable, but with the breeze off Erie, this could ignite a thunderstorm. Niagara region, Hamilton, down towards Brantford and through to Windsor. So we're going to watch for that as we head into the afternoon. Now, Emily Vukovic, she's been watching the skies, and she's also been watching all of these delicious campfire treats come her way. Here's a look at what Emily's been experiencing this morning with Scouts Canada. Oh, that looks good. That's an upgrade from s'mores, but you know, s'mores are my staple when I go camping. Last weekend, or not last weekend, a couple weekends ago, I was at Killbear, and I didn't even bring one marshmallow because I have zero control when it comes to s'mores. It's scary how many s'mores I can eat. As we get into this afternoon, our forecast is looking awesome, so good. 27 degrees in Toronto, 23 in Barrie. We're a little bit cooler Barrie and Cottage Country because that cold front has worked its way through, so it's bringing us a bit of a fresher air mass. Tomorrow morning, 18 degrees in Toronto. Could see a little extra cloud cover in the morning, and then nice and sunny, just perfect as we go into Friday afternoon. The weekend looking great too. All right, when we come back, camping in bad weather, how to do it right and make the best of it, that's next. Thursday, July the 27th. Let's enjoy this weekend, okay? Because there are only a few weekends left of this summer. 6 weeks of summer left to be exact. And of course, not to be Debbie Downer this morning, but just want to let you know because I want you to make the most of it. We looked at a gray start to the day today. We saw those showers track through. After 11 a.m., we are going to be in the clear, and we're setting you up for a great afternoon. Toronto and the GTA, we're staying nice and stable. However, the Niagara region over towards Hamilton, Brantford, along the shores of Erie, essentially that north shore of Erie, looks like we could see a pop-up thunderstorm here just with the lake breeze. Essentially that wind off the lake creating some of that extra lift, and that could ignite a thunderstorm as we go into the afternoon. All right, we have your weekend forecast just ahead. Plus, we're actually taking a look at temperatures as we go into the long weekend, Civic Long Weekend just around the corner. But right now, we go to the campfire with Emily Vukovic. Good morning. And it's time now to take a look at the long-range forecast details. Look at this here. This is your 7-day. The weekend, we can't get much better than that. When we look at the pop, 10% probability of precipitation. That's very, very low. And temperature-wise, we're warming up into the weekend. Look, as we start off next week, we're up to 29. But there are signs that temperatures are cooling down late into next week. So for the long weekend, the Civic Long Weekend just ahead, we are expecting to see cooler temperatures. Still 20s. But a little cooler. Looks delicious out there. That's a big upgrade from s'mores.
Absolutely. As we check out our weather forecast, we are going to get an upgrade in some areas by the afternoon. We're seeing showers around the shores of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario here towards Kingston, for example, along the shores of Lake Huron. Fairly light in nature. It's not a big stormy, heavy, rainy morning. But by the afternoon, there's a chance of thunderstorms anywhere marked in yellow, Rachel.
But let's talk temperatures here and that humidity that's coming back.
Yeah, if you've been missing the heat and thinking, where's summer? It's really back here in Toronto. 27 feeling like 35. Toronto is going to be, Ottawa rather, is going to be 26 degrees this afternoon with the chance of those thunderstorms. So more of a typical summer afternoon than the rainy, cool-ish weather that we've seen of late this week. And then that windy weather along the front of this summer overall. That windy weather up and down the St. Lawrence, chance of thunderstorms. But good news, clears out by tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're feeling sort of those humidity values coming back into the picture too, up and down the St. Lawrence. Want to send things over to Nathan Coleman, though. He's been out exploring the beaches in Nova Scotia. Have a look at this. Just want to show you the thunderstorm risk for this afternoon, and I mentioned Canadian Open happening this weekend in Oakville. Huge golf event, and we've got a great forecast for that.
It's going to be busy there. Stay tuned. We've got your local forecast followed by Around the World.
A bit of a gray and wet start to the day today, but don't worry because very soon we are going to be back into the sunshine. We are going to see that as we head into the afternoon. And this moisture this morning, if you like the humidity, you like that kind of muggy, almost rainforest kind of atmosphere, we're going to feel that into the afternoon because this moisture, this front that came through this morning, it has added that back in for us. Clear and sunny as we go through the weekend. We really have a stellar weekend forecast. We'll explain that, and then we'll also get you into the long weekend. Some temperature swings, that long weekend just around the corner. So a bit of a wet start to the day today, but clearing out. That's what you need to know. We could see a few pop-up thunderstorms along the north shore of Erie, but Toronto and the greater Toronto region, we should be staying stable. As we look at Hamilton, you're sort of on the cusp of that. Hamilton, Niagara region, we're going to watch there. Perhaps into the afternoon, we could see a thunderstorm. 27 for Toronto, 28 in Windsor. It's a hot day today. It's going to feel like summer. And Emily Vukovic has certainly been practicing some of the best summer skills to have. How good are you around the campfire? Emily joins us right here with Scouts Canada. About 11 a.m., we should be clear from those showers, so I think your picnic table, Emily, should be staying dry into the afternoon. But hey, what a good idea. Have you ever heard of campfire cones, too? You take ice cream cones, you shove them with cookies and chocolate and marshmallows, you wrap them up in the tin foil, you put that into the fire, you take it out and you eat that. Sure, that'd be pretty delicious. As we look at the overnight tonight, 18 degrees in Toronto. As we go into tomorrow, great start to the day. Maybe a little bit more cloud cover through the morning and then into the afternoon, 24 and lots of sunshine expected as we go into the weekend. Force of Nature is up next. When we come back, we take you to Peru with this explosion. Day. The eruption could be seen 75 kilometers away. This morning, a little wet, a little gray out there. We've been tracking some showers through the morning hours, but we're generally clearing out throughout the day. Things were looking a lot worse at 5 a.m. than what we're seeing now, that's for sure. And it's all because of this front here. This front just continues to clear throughout the day, brings the rain well to the east of us, and we will be looking at better conditions as we go towards this evening, and then especially into Friday, and especially into the weekend. Look at this. This area of high pressure, this is what we need for a weekend in July to get outdoors, enjoy all that sunshine and the heat that's moving in. So we are really looking at one of the best forecasts of the summer coming into play for Saturday and Sunday. Now let's take a look at the thunderstorm risk, because there still is a risk of seeing a thunderstorm as we go into the afternoon. I'm thinking the GTA, especially the city of Toronto, we will be staying stable. However, Hamilton, Niagara region, especially north shore of Erie, with a bit of that lake breeze that adds that extra lift, we could see a pop-up thunderstorm here, and then similar scenario Kingston over towards Ottawa. This evening, patio weather, I'm still going to say it's a go. 23 degrees in Toronto, a bit cooler in Barrie, just getting up to 20. And then as we go into Friday, we're watching just one little thing here on Friday. Okay, see this? We have this system south of the Great Lakes. At this point, it is staying south of the Great Lakes, and there is high confidence that we will be dry within the GTA. However, places like the Niagara region, maybe even Toronto, a bit more cloud cover into Friday morning, and then nicely clearing as we go into the afternoon. Starting off the day tomorrow at 18 degrees, and then 24 on Friday. It's a little below seasonal. Basically, the front that's passing by today cools us down just a touch. Now, what does the weekend look like? We've got the numbers and, of course, all of that sunshine. Your Long Ranger starts right here. And there's a lot going on this weekend with the Canadian Open happening at Glen Abbey in Oakville, Toronto Festival of Beer, even up in Barrie, 24 degrees on Saturday, Blueberry Pancake Festival happening in Barrie. So we got some great conditions no matter what you're doing on Saturday, and that great weather, well, it spills over into Sunday too, and even warmer if you like that, if you want to head down to the beach. 27 degrees in Toronto. This is the kind of weekend if you've been thinking, hey, we should go to Wasaga this weekend, sometime in the summer. Yeah, this is the weekend to do it. Go up the 400, make the trip. As we get into Monday, 29 degrees in Toronto, 28 in Oakville. Now we're slightly above seasonal. And as we look into next week, temperatures are warm. And look, we are fairly dry into next week. There are signs, though, that we start to slowly cool down just a touch, a little below seasonal as we go into the long weekend. So that's the Civic Day long weekend. We're not talking cold, but perhaps into the mid to low 20s. Force of Nature is coming up when we return.